Today we're going to take a look at a couple of conference rooms that we installed for a client here in Atlanta. So let's get started with this one behind me here. This is what they refer to as the lobby conference room. So we walk into this room. This is a single display conference room. It's got a single 65 on the wall. This is a commercial display with a 3-year warranty. It's got is called a video meeting bar below it from Yealink. And we conveniently located the control right beside it. We can put these on the center, but as you see, this is a room that gets reconfigured in multiple different ways. Also in this room for audio reinforcement, we have wireless microphones. These use a charging puck and charge very similar to a cell phone, but they can move them around the room, get them, if there's only a few people, they can move them closer. But each one of these things will pick up a 10-foot radius. So between the two, they'll cover this entire room with no problem. So we suggest keeping them in the middle on here. So we can take a look at this touchscreen. This is a Microsoft Teams room. You've got the touchscreen here where you can simply just join a meeting. It shows your schedule off to the side. You can do a meet now. You can do just a simple phone call and just call somebody via Teams. You've got your join with an ID, and it will also do Zoom. So Teams released an update in 2025, and the rooms now will support WebEx, Zoom, and Teams native. And we can go in here to, you can also just present. You can also present via the wireless presentation pod without even needing to be on the Wi-Fi. A lot of IT guys love this because a guest can come in to do a presentation on something. They don't even have to join a Wi-Fi network. They can just plug in and send it. Very simple and easy to use. Okay, let's see. Our meeting bar here, it's actually a dual camera meeting bar. It uses one camera for situational awareness of the room, and then depending on what this camera sees, it directs this camera. So if there's only a few people sitting in that corner, this will actually zoom in and frame them. It can also do, as people start talking, it will zoom around the room. Most people just leave it in group mode, so it just puts the whole group in there at one time. That's usually how most people use it. This is also the sound bar for the room. It's nice and loud. It sounds good. So let's see if we can get an audio demo of this room too for you guys. So I'm going to set that up. We'll be right back. That's the way the soundbar sounds on 60% volume. This is being picked up on my DJI mic, which I'm wearing in the back of the room. All right, let's head upstairs and check out the upstairs training room now. So we're outside of one of our conference rooms here. There's a room scheduler right by the door. The room scheduler, it has a trim light that shows the status of the room. So right now there is a meeting that's supposed to be going on in there right now. So you see that the meeting is booked, it's showing booked. When it's available, this will show green. But it's a really quick way to see what's going on in the room just by scrolling up and down. You can also, if it's green and you would like to reserve the room, you can take out your phone and scan the QR code and it will take you to this room and you can book it right there and then have a meeting. So let's go inside and see the actual system. So in this conference room, there's 2 big displays mounted on the wall. Above here is a 4K PTZ camera. There is a bring your own device hookup here. There is also a wireless hookup to the room here. In the ceiling, we've got 6 speakers going down each side to play back the audio. And then there's 4 here in the center that are actually microphones. And when the meeting's engaged, there'll be a little green circle on it. And then if you mute it, there'll be a red circle on it. But those are calibrated. There's an acoustic echo cancellation module behind the TV that works to make sure that there's no echo and the audio in the room is optimized. We have another ceiling camera back here. This is for a presenter. So if someone's presenting, teaching a class, and it needs to be cast out remotely to other participants. They can see both people in the room as well as the participant presenting here at the same time. One of the cool things about this particular conference room setup, there's an occupancy sensor. The system knows when people are in the room. When someone walks into the room, it'll automatically turn the TVs on, wake everything up. But when people leave, it will automatically shut everything down after a period of time. So that's the overview of this room. We can get into the touchscreen next and how to configure it. Oh, one other little quick thing real quick. If you just walk in with your phone, you can scan this QR code and start a meeting from the room without even needing to book it if you wanted to. And it does support mirrorcast, screencast mirroring. If that's allowed by the IT staff, it can be done through that. And then this side also over here will show the meetings corresponding with the room. So this is what they call the CP10. It is the control system or controller for the Microsoft Teams interface for the room. So, and as you can see, it's pretty intuitive. It's got that same QR code as on the screen and on the door if you just need to book it with your phone and join a meeting that's on your phone that hasn't been pushed to the room yet. You've got Book Now, which you can hit that and it literally just boots up into meeting mode and gives you a phone number to call into, or you can type in, let's do that real quick. It's going to connect to the Teams server, and then you've got the interface down here for the system, but you can type up here and invite somebody to the room. If I can spell my name correctly, that would be nice. So you can just tap and it'll invite somebody to the room that way. Or if you look on that TV over there, you've got a phone number to call in, meeting ID and password right there displayed on the screen, ready to go if you need it. But let's get out of that. Let's jump into a different one here that's already scheduled. So we can close that for right now. It was great. There we go. So you can also do a call. So you can type in a name of someone in your organization or externally. All you got to do is use their Teams interface or enter their Teams ID, which is usually their email address. I'm going to start that over. You can make a phone call. All you got to do is enter the email address associated with their Teams account. Share. There's a couple of ways to share with this system. You can cast to the room or you can connect to this. This system supports an HDMI cable being plugged in the back, or there's a wireless dongle that we'll show you in a minute. Room controls. This is where you can select which camera you want to use, the preset positions, and control the PTZ and zoom functionality, plus the tracking feature. You can turn on auto framing, speaker tracking, presenter tracking, and multi-focus to where it can do multiple people at one time. The camera layout, this refers to how the cameras are seen on the screen. As far as you've got one camera full screen, and you can switch which camera that is. You can change to do 2 cameras or 3 cameras or 4 cameras, depending on how the room's configured. And you can do surround as well. Status just shows the entire status of all the connected devices. Device settings, software version, brightness. You can also join with an ID. So if you come in and you have a ID, say it doesn't even have to be Teams, it could be Zoom. You can just literally type in that meeting ID and the passcode and hit connect, and the room will join. If you see right here, this is the schedule for the room, and this is where everything is for the room today, schedule-wise. We're going to go to this one that I created for testing the room. There's a current meeting here that we don't want to jump into. We can hit join here. Now, this is a configuration setting in with however your IT wants to configure this. You could set it to have a waiting room. you can set it to where the team system is the master controller for the room. But for right now, I'm going to have to go over to my laptop and open up Teams here and go to my calendar for this. And I'm going to have to, this is their preference zone, go to People. You can see the rooms right there in the waiting lobby. It's going to be right here, and you just hit Admit. And we'll mute ourselves real quick. Okay, let's go back here. So as you can see, the meeting has started. You've got down here at the bottom, you've got how, this is just how you want stuff done. Gallery view is what we have up now. You can switch it to Together, which this will do people on this side as well as presenters there too. Front row. And I can turn this camera on real quick just so we can see it for purposes. So there we go. That's my camera on. So you'll see your participants stacking up over here. If someone raises a hand, you can also see on the corner over there on that screen is the chat going on. And then we can also switch back to gallery mode. I'll show you what that looks like. So you've got presenters over here and your internal cameras over there, so you can control them or point them or see where they're pointing. If you've got them in auto frame mode, they'll be zooming around according to where people are talking, as well as the chat still there. You can also, from this screen, hit swap screens and switch the screens if you want to. Now, you can turn the chat on and off if you want. You can raise your hand from the room scheduler. And then there's these three little dots right over here. This brings up more controls. So you can actually come here and hit, where is it? So you've got your audio settings, the room remote on and off, and then most important is the room controls here. This brings you back to your camera settings. You've got the ceiling and the audience camera, because there's two cameras in this room. And this is where you can hit the reset button and it'll move. I can pan the camera around the room. Let me see. We can. There we go. That's a business card on the table right there. So they've got a pretty good zoom, plus you can see all the dust on the table too. And one tap, you can either hit reset and it'll put it back, or you can just hit preset 1, or however many presets you set, and it will reset it back to that preset. You can do the same thing with the ceiling camera, which is in the back for the presenter. You can zoom it out. You can hit another preset, zoom it back in, and then you can also do the same controls. From the same camera screen, you can also do your camera layout, and this depends on how the cameras are seen on the screen. So you can do one screen here and apply, or you can do multiple, or you can do surround, or you can have your cameras in a different configuration here. It just depends on how you like it. Status, device settings, brightness, same as before. So we'll go ahead and close out of that. You've got down here, this is your volume up and down here. You've got your shade for your camera. You've got your mic mute. And again, the same present button either with the wireless, or you can connect via the, if it's on a table there, you can connect up via the HDMI connection on the back, and the in-call button. But the next thing I want to show you is how to connect wirelessly to it. So let's grab the wireless dongle here. And I'm going to turn my camera off here for a second. There's a couple of ways, but we're going to do the wireless one first. Turn camera off. So my Mac is already connected to the system. So when you plug it in via either USB-A or USB-C, it's going to pop up down here in a yellow light. And then as soon as it connects, it will go to green, and it should auto-connect just like that. And I can close this. And as you see, my screen is on and is also being presented through to the webcast here as well. Now, if you plug it in and it doesn't go green, there is a driver that can be found on a Mac under the locations here. There's a Yealink Presentation Pod application that you'll need to install first. So if you've never connected to the room, you might want to show up a little early and install that application. IT may be able to push that app out globally through Intune, but that's the one little thing here. You can also, if you're presenting and you need to get the system off, you can hit that button and it takes you off. And then you can hit it again and it will put you back up. Super simple. That. Okay, so I'm actually going to take this microphone off now. Turn it off. So we should be picking everything up. On. So I'm going to walk around and you can listen to me walking around. So this would be the presenter space. You're hearing just the ceiling microphones in the room now. I'm going to cut the audio over this recorded video so you can hear it. As I walk around the room, you can hear the audio doesn't change very much at all. Push that chair in. You can walk. I'm even going to turn away from the mics, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk to the wall. I'm talking to the wall now, and you can still hear me. It's not as good as if you turn towards the mics, but normally in a meeting, you're going to be facing the mic anyways. But as you can see, I'm all the way up against the wall, away from the mic, and this is still what it sounds like. So I'm going to keep coming around just so you can get a grasp of the audio in the room as I walk around and talk. It's always fun just randomly talking because you run out of stuff to say. So, maybe I should have read something. But anyways, that's the upstairs. That's this. So that's this conference room system's kind of overview and walkthrough and demo of this room. Thank you for joining us today on this tour of some conference room systems here in Atlanta. If there's a conference room need you need some technology in your building, head over to 210solutions.com, scroll down, fill out that contact form, and one of our solution specialists will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. We'll see you next time.